like, why don't we gear kids more towards trade skills and tech or anything outside of, trying to be a rapper or into sports and dancing, TikTok and all this shit?
So good evening, fellas, once again.
What's up, bro?
This is kind of a two-part answer to this here. Only because, again, I always go back to the design of the play, basically. Coaches, we all design a play, and then the plays ran as it's designed. So I'm going to give you my first part, basically. So I think to an extent some parents may sell their kids, to the sports part of it. You get those guys out there who just want their son to be the best at everything. They might overly push it. They really don't give their kids any other options but this here. So, you get those parents who kind of live through their kids, you know what I mean? And, in that aspect, some part of that is wrong. But I also think that, giving the kids an opportunity to play, it helps develop them in so many different areas. These kids need this to be off the streets. We got to channel the youth energy when it comes down to it. And this is a good way to kind of do it. I know football personally has taught me a lot of things just in life to where, it's prepared me to where things come up, I can adjust and adapt quickly and move as needed. You know what I mean? But when you look at the overall design of just entertainment, all right, I'm gonna use that word entertainment. Think about back in the 1400s, they got two horses kind of going at it. That was their football back in the day. They're going down the line, and whoever get, poked in the chest, you got a whole crowd in there. Yeah, you know what I mean? Going crazy. Football, basketball, soccer, that is the same thing as it was back in those times there. It's just a different game. So, at the end of the day, it's great, but it could be a huge distraction because you got people just so focused on football and not really paying attention to what's going on in life. So it has its downfalls, but it's got a lot of good to it. It just has to be a balance. I think that, as people, we have to understand what we're, the world we're living in today. And we got to have a balance to, play the game of football, love the game of football, but have a balance and know and understand that we got a game that's life. That's a bigger game. You know what I mean? We got to play that game just as well, if not better. You know what I mean? So it's all really going to come down to balance and understand, all aspects when it comes down to the design of what sports and entertainment is for. It's to entertain people. You know what I mean? However, again, it's a tool as well because this gave me several tools when it comes to my life. I wouldn't be as successful as I am today without football. It's taught me so many things. The most important part is just the mental part. Football pushes you more mentally than it does physically, in a sense. You know what I mean? And it could take more from you mentally as well than it can physically as well, as we're seeing with a lot of these NFL players. You know what I mean? So, again, it comes down to balance and understanding, where to draw the line at the end of the day.
Big Nasty, I like the fact that you drew the analogy with like gladiator, like sports back in the day. And I think that makes Gavin's point. Everyone ain't bred, built genetically, what have you, to be a gladiator, to be an athlete. It just ain't in them. And me and you, for sure, experienced those individuals. Gavin talked about, he was on the end of that era. Me and you, we fed into that era. It was, who had the shoots. Every time I think about the shoots, I think about me and you going in the shoots. And my head's still ringing from that shit. So I'll tell you what, believe it or not, I'm more on the side of sports being emphasized so much than being taken so serious. And like you said, parents throw so much time, money, and resources into these sports. I'm going to say it's too much, that they should be going to tech schools and trade schools because, for someone that excelled, I still think it's too much.